All right, so for today, I'm going to show you how to make these spiral scrubbies. These ones you can use with a variety of different materials. I personally, for like if you want to use them for dishes, they do have a specific scrubby yarn that you can pick up. I believe it's Sugar and Cream makes it. I personally like the acrylic ones because they're kind of abrasive, but not really. I don't recommend the acrylic at all for like your face, but like me, I'm big on the exfoliating. So these are, I find, are perfect for exfoliating. The cotton or a cotton blend, I think, is much more softer, more delicate for use on like your face. I have not made them with the bamboo, but the bamboo is extremely soft. So if you have very delicate skin, especially for your face, I would recommend more so try the bamboo. But like I said, I haven't tried it yet. So for this one, we're going to start to create this. We'll need some yarn. This one is a red heart yarn. The color is Wildflowers, but you can pick any color that you wish. We'll need a darning needle. This is to sew it together, and we pull tight the ends for it. We need a pair of scissors in order to cut our yarn. And for this, we're going to use a 5.5 millimeter crochet hook. All right, to start this, we're going to want to create your slip knot. But for it, we're going to want to leave our tail pretty long because we're going to use that for tying together one of the ends. All right. And then to start it off, we're going to want to chain 21. All right, now that we have chained 21, we're going to skip this first chain, and into that second chain from the hook, we want to put 2 single crochets. And then we want to single crochet into the next 17 stitches. And then we have 2 stitches left. So what we want to do is single crochet, decrease. So you go into the stitch, pull up a loop, go into the next stitch and pull up a loop. Now 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and go through all 3 loops, and then chain 1. Now for this, it's going to, each row on one side is going to decrease, and then on the other side is going to increase. So the 2 single crochets into 1, and then at the end we chain 1, and then we turn, but we want to work in back loops only. So this was the side that we decreased onto. So skip your first chain that you just made, and into the next 2 stitches we want to decrease, and then single crochet into the next 17 stitches. All right, and then into your last stitch, you want to put 2 single crochets, so your increase, and then chain 1. All right, and then turn your work, and just like the first row after the chain 1, what you want to do is into your next stitch, 2 single crochets, and then single crochet into your next 17 stitches. Remember to continually work in back loops only. All right, and then into your last 2, decrease, and then chain 1 and turn your work. And so you're just going to repeat those 2 rows over and over until you get a total of 21 rows. And as you can see, it's starting to take form a little bit. So as you can tell, whenever the point is coming out on the one side, you remind yourself that's your decrease side. And then the opposite side is your increase. So, and 17 stitches in between. Sometimes that one on the very end can be a little bit difficult to get to. So make sure you keep count of your 17 in between. And we want to repeat this until we have 21 total rows. And our working end of our yarn should be on the same side whenever we finish as the tail. And I'll meet you back as soon as we get to there. All right, so here we are. We have our 21 rows. Now we ended on the decrease. See down here? So we'll go ahead and pull up a loop along with our tying off, leaving it extra long. This one we want just a little bit longer. Okay, maybe a lot longer. I like extra long tails. All right, and then what we do is we're going to fold our item in half. Now to make it easier, for me at least, I like to just put a simple square knot right in here just to make sure my yarn is not going to end up moving around on me. So just tie those together, and then on our super long one that we just cut off from, go ahead and thread it into your darning needle. All right, and then see, we folded the corners in like so. Now what we're going to want to do is, because they're tied here, so that marks where we start. So we're going to go into each stitch, matching it all up along the way. So you can see our first stitch, these are actually starting with the chains, and they should match up directly right to the stitches from your last row that you did. We're just going to take our darning needle and sew the 2 halves right together. And I'm just going back and forth between the 2. And I'm only working in 1 loop for this. right, now that we've reached our end, we should have essentially this tube circle thing, little cylinder. So now what we want to do with the darning needle still attached, we're just going to go right along the edge here, and we're just going to weave in our needle in and out some of the loops. Basically per row, go in and out. If you don't get it exact, that's okay. Then as you get a few, go ahead and pull through. But we just want to keep right at the end. Where was my beginning? All right. Now that you've gone all the way around, I actually went a little over. No worries. So it's nice and loose in there too. So then just pull on your thread yarn to close up the circle. And then go ahead and just tie it off. I usually just do a couple of back stitches to make sure it's good and tight into there. And I just kind of go around. And then cut off. And yes, I do love to keep the ends long because it's so much easier to cut off extra than it is to add later. Now we take our darning needle, go to the opposite side, so the side that's not all squished together, and attach our yarn. And we're just going to the same thing, just kind of weave in and out of the loops. Like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect, but you kind of want to catch as many little ins and outs as you can. But if you actually go through kind of like that, you might have a little bit more difficult time trying to pull it tight shut. So just try and avoid doing that. All right, and now we're back at the beginning. So we've gone all the way around. Go ahead and pull on the end of your yarn to close it up. And then just do a couple of little back stitches. And just kind of pull through. Now, you might like the idea that it's, move around and everything like that. I'm not too much of a huge fan, but everyone is different, so you can leave it so it can move around a lot more. I often do like to stitch it so it kind of stays just like this and it's not, popping around. So you just line up the two centers, and I just make a couple of stitches going right between the two halves. And then fully tie off. And then weave in the ends. And there we have our little crochet scrubby. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and give it a little thumbs up. If you didn't enjoy it, by all means, let me know. Let me know in the comments section. If you have not yet to subscribe, go ahead and hit that little subscribe button and hit that little notification next to it so you get a notification every time I post a new pattern. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day.